Hey everybody, Chris Cooley here. I am the artist behind CMCreative Design, and today I'm going to show you a video about WordPress. This is a video in a series that I'm going to be using for resources for not just my clients, but for anybody who finds themselves in certain situations when it comes to design. Today, this lesson is about WordPress. It is a video for people who have a WordPress page built for them, but might not know how to interact with it. And again, in this case, we're going to be using a theme called Divi. Most WordPress themes will apply in some close manner to this tutorial. You can see, I'm just going to dive right into it. You can see that the URL that we're going to use is always going to be your URL, and then when you have WordPress installed, it's wp-login. So when you get to that URL, you're going to see that you have a login screen. I'm going to put mine in, and I will be able to access what's called the dashboard. So here is the dashboard. I like to reference it in a way that relates it to both a Microsoft Word document and Facebook. If you've ever used either of the two, it's like a blend of those in simplest terms. One of the main things that I want to note is whenever you log into your WordPress dashboard, you're going to see updates available. If there are some, you'll see this orange or red circle. In this case, there are 5 updates. There are 2 places that you can see it. You can also see it along this toolbar on the top. This toolbar allows you to flip back and forth between the actual front end of the site, the images and this what the site will look like in any browser, and if you click on it again, you can go back to the dashboard where you'll be making the edits to the site. So first things first, let's make sure that everything is updated. So if I click updates, I will see that I have the ability to update plugins. Plugins are little widgets that make up your site that you can either download or upload from other places. I'll get into that a little bit, probably not in this tutorial too much. And then there's also the themes that we have. Now, I like to just keep everything updated, so you can select all. Even though we're only using the Divi theme, we're just going to update everything just for the case of this tutorial. So we're going to update the themes, and it'll take a quick second, maybe a minute, hopefully not a minute in this case. The other thing that I like to do is open up a second tab, and in the second tab I will put the white walnut furniture.com. Right now it's unavailable because we're making these updates, but the reason I keep those 2 tabs open is so that I can work very seamlessly between the edit mode, which is going to be the back end dashboard, and the front end, which is going to be what the site again actually looks like. So now we see all the updates have been made. We're good to go. There is one more update, and that'll probably be the WordPress browser. You'll see that there's a version of WordPress that needs to be updated. I'll update that later just because it can take a little while. But let's refresh the Wet Walnut site on the front end. Make sure that it looks okay. Looks good. So this is just a technique that I like to use to be able to bounce back and forth. So let's talk about how WordPress is built and made up. These navigation buttons along the left-hand side are all of your the elements that make up your site. So for this situation or scenario, the first thing I'm going to do is go to Pages. If you go into any area of the site, if you go into Posts, you'll see or media, anything, you'll see that there's a button in all of them that says Add New, and then you'll see everything that's been uploaded or updated or created down here below. We're not using posts in this website, but just so you can see an example, this is where the Add New button is if you want to create anything. And for instance, also here in Media, you'll see Add New. So the media is all the images and anything that documents that you might upload to your WordPress site. Under Pages, which is where I want to focus, we have a couple of pages that have been created. The only one that's showing right now on the current site is this. It says white walnut furniture. This is basically, in essence, a home page. So again, this applies to the post, the media. Underneath each listing, you'll see options to edit, trash, or view. So we're mostly going to navigate to edit. This will give you all the details within that page. But you can also delete anything that you need. You can also do bulk actions here like we did on the update, or just select one at a time. So let's go right into this page. When I click edit, you're going to see all the options of the site are contained right within this page. Well, I shouldn't say of the site, of the page. So we've got all the keywords, SEO options, metadata. Like, as long as you keep those three in unison so that they all read the same way, you're going to see that the SEO, it's poor, but it's still available. So we can get into more of those details, and definitely not in this run around. Now, in the Divi theme, we're using something called Page Builder. So I'll show you if you were going to create a new page in Divi, that might not be applied. So right here, if I create a new page, you're going to see I have the standard WordPress dialog box or text box. This is just going to add text to my page, and I can add media, images right here. That's standard, okay? I'm actually using Page Builder, and this is why I use the Divi theme, because if I use Page Builder, I actually have options to insert columns. Like, this is where I'm building my page. I can add full width sections. I can add specialty sections, but you'll see when I insert a column, it gives me an actual layout that I can decide on, whatever I want to use. If I want a larger video with a sidebar, I can use those things. So I'm just going to put that in, and you'll see then I'm able to insert modules. So let's just say I want a gallery. All the options for the gallery are within that space. And also in here I can add a text box, and you'll see this is where you get like a standard word, yeah, sort of like a word editor. You can change things to headings. You can change the color, just really similar to Word. And you can also add hyperlinks. So if I wanted it to go to a different site, I could just add that in there, add a link. And that's how you would edit text. You can play around with that yourself. And when you hover over, it gives you a little detail of what that icon means. So again, though, we are not using that for the page itself. We're using the Page Builder. But if you check these 3 lines on each module, you can get into those details. Make sure anytime that you make edits, you'll see that I was right typing in this box. I didn't save it. You must save everything that you do, or it will not show up. So anyway, the other neat thing here is that in the Page Builder, Divi allows you to move these things around very easily, and that will show in the structure of the site. So there's just a little example rundown. We're not going to save this page, so when I leave, it's going to ask me. It says if I leave, I haven't saved anything, which I just mentioned, and it's all going to be gone. So I'm just going to leave the page. I don't need that. And I'm going to go back to the page that makes up our home page of the White Walnut site. So again, here's the Page Builder. I already have it built, so you'll see here's a full width slider, and this right here on the page itself is the full width slider. Again, you have the options. These three little lines are the icon that dig you deeper into the options. You can play around with all kinds of settings here, and I'm not going to get into all those details, but that's something that you can do. So here in the slide options, though, you will see there's a heading. I've got this. This is the heading right here. I can also add button text, which will have a little pop-up button below everything there. I'm not going to do that in this one, and then you can add a URL so that button goes to a certain place. I've also picked a background image, just like I would upload to an email. There's a dialog box that comes up. These images will be stored forever on your WordPress site, and make sure you keep a backup of that. But if I choose upload files, I do select files. I can pick any files from anywhere on my computer. So That's how you would change the background if you wanted to. I also I use a cropping tool to create these images. You should stay around 1500 pixels wide by 500 tall. That's a good size for this widget. And yeah, just keep by that standard if you have the option of cropping it. Your photos. So this is also an interesting space. This is where you can put in text like I showed you before, almost like a Word document. In this case, I've inserted an image, and you can't see it because it's a white PNG file with a transparent background. So that's actually this logo right here. And because I have a dark background, I want that to show through. Without a background, it's a PNG file. And so I'm just going to show you how to insert that. If I delete it out of this text box, I'm going to go click Add Media, and I already have this this logo or this image stored. You'll see right here there's a gray background, so I can kind of see it back there. I'm going to click that and then Insert into Page. You do this same process with any photo that you want to insert into a text box. So WordPress also gives me the option of scaling this thing. So I'm going to scale it. It shows me the dimensions right there. Right alongside the cursor. So I can scale this down, and because it's saved as a PNG file, it's not going to lose its clarity. And also I'm scaling it down, so it should be fine. So now you'll see it's not centered, so I'm going to use the paragraph alignment and center that. I can also double click on the image itself. I think maybe not. Oh, the editor's right up here. So if I wanted to edit that photo, there are some options. Click that little pencil button. I can't see this. This is not the greatest example, but like right now, one of the settings, if I click on that, it's going to go to the file itself, the image file. I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to go none. And you can also do advanced options. So again, plenty to play around with here. Update, save, make sure you save it. And then because I'm in the full width slider section, I'm going to save that again. And then the key here is once you save anything, it will not apply to your live site until you click Update here in the top right corner. You always want to do that. If you have a lot of traffic to your site, you might want to work offline, but you can ask some web developers or me about that. So anyway, we've made that edit, and I'll refresh the page. You can see that, well, it doesn't look that much different because we replaced it with the same image, but that is how you would insert that image. So back to the page builder, I also want to show you I've got a text box here. That text box actually contains an image. I find that there's more flexibility with that. So if I click the 3 lines to edit, you'll see that in the text box, just like we just inserted that white walnut logo, you see there's an image that I've placed into that text box. Save it. It's all good. Now, the other thing that you can do, just while I'm explaining these icons, the 3 lines is to get into the widget to edit it, and then this double box is actually, you can duplicate what you're doing, and that's kind of handy if you just want to replicate a bunch of pieces of your page. You would rename them. This one's just text. I like to rename them to organize them. I'll just do text 1, save it, and then I know which one's which. But you can also just delete them. Be careful, because when you delete it won't come back. But I just click X out of that. So you're starting to see the elements of how this page is put together. Now, the other cool thing that I've done down here at the bottom is I've made 3 columns. So just really ultimate flexibility here. I'm actually going to drag this one up and put it underneath. Section should have at least 1 row. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Gallery. Right now I've got 12 images in the gallery, and I want to, you'll see that right here. It's a grid, so it's really nice, fills up the page nicely. I'm showing Bob's work here, and if you click on him, it gives you a light box, right? I mean, I'm sure you've all seen that before, and you can just cycle through the images, which is a really nice feature. There are a couple on here that I want to change because they're kind of duplicates. So what I'm going to do is, you see just like different angles of a bed frame, and then there's the full bed frame down here. So what I'm going to do is show you how to upload images into this gallery. Again, the gallery options are, if you click into the edit mode, that 3-line icon, you get all these gallery options. So I could limit it to 8 items. There's a grid. I don't want to show the caption, but you can if you want to. So I'm just going to go and update the gallery, and I've got some images that I want to add to gallery. So you see there's edit gallery. This is where you can drag things around to reorder them, or you can add. So I'm going to upload a file, and I am going to White Walnut. I've got images in here. And so there are a couple images that we wanted to put in. One of them is this table, beautiful table. So I'm clicking that. I'm going to go open, and you'll see I'm going to get a progress bar. And this is kind of a big image, so it might take a second. But that image will start to upload, and then we'll see all the details of that down here. Back to the front end of the page, you'll also see I've got 3 boxes down at the bottom. Those are those 3 columns that you saw that it was telling me I couldn't move around. So that's I'll show you what those look like in a second here too. But there's the structure of the site. So we've got that one text box, we've got the full width slider at the top, and then we've got a gallery page, and then we've got 3 columns down at the bottom. So let's see how this is going. If I click upload, sometimes it takes a little time. So there it is right there. And once I have that uploaded, I'm going to just click add to gallery, and we'll see that it puts it right down here at the bottom. So I'm actually going to remove this bed frame because that was a duplicate. And so we've still got 12. If you have 13 images and you've limited the presentation to 12, you're only going to see 12 images. So let's just update the gallery. This is what I'm talking about right here. If I have 13 images in that gallery and I've only got this number set to 12, it's only going to show 12. So let's save it and make sure you update it. And then I can check and refresh my home page. And we should see there's that table down there in the bottom right. So really easy to do, but good to know where all the elements are. Also, I want to show you these 3 columns. So down here I've actually got, this is a text box, and if you go, and if you want a Google map, right, this one's of Geneva, New York, then I would just go to Google, search for, actually let's just do a different one, like San Francisco. Under Google Maps, you're going to get Google Maps. And I would just grab an embed code from this. So then that embed code is what we use. There is a Maps module. I don't find that it works too well. I get a lot more flexibility when you actually go to Google and actually grab that embed code. So let me show you where that is, because it's a pretty popular item. So if we Google map San Francisco, you're going to find a little link up here. Click that link, and that's going to give you the embed option. You're going to want to use this paste to embed it into website, not the short link. So you copy that whole thing, and you paste it into a text widget. Let me show you how that works. So I'm just copying that. I'm going to paste it in. Now, I'm not pasting it. There's 2 options here in WordPress. You've got visual, and that's going to show you actual like front end stuff, and you've got text. This is code. So if you ever wanted to change the code, this is what you would use, one of these 2 tabs. But I'm just going to show you, save. This is my map of San Francisco below my map of Geneva, New York. Update, and under refresh, under the page, and it should give us a map right under our Geneva, New York map of San Francisco. So there you go. Pretty cool, really easy to do. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to get rid of that. This is also a text widget. You'll see that this is the visual view. So I have the mission, and again, we've got that right here in the center. You can change any of these. So if you wanted to add a link to under furniture to www.furniture.com. I have no idea what that website is. You can add that link, and maybe I want to make style bold and italic. So let me save that, and you'll see that when I refresh, that text should have been altered. Oop. Need to go up to update. See? You all knew that, right? Because you've been listening. So once I click update, should update the text here. You see that we've got the word style is bold, italic, and furniture is a link. So if I click that link, hopefully it doesn't go to a dirty site or something. Furniture.com. There we go. Furniture.com. So that's a really easy way to add links and change the font and style in WordPress. Also, we've got, this is an actual module. This is the call to action module. I really like this one. Simple, and you can add a lot to it. In this case, we just have a title, please call Robert Baldwin, and we've applied a color right here that we've defined. That's the background color. And then we just added some text over the top of it. If you wanted to, you could add a button. So let's just put the furniture.com again, and we'll say this is a button. Save that. I'm going to show you what that does. Update, and it will add a button, a nice little button, to your call to action. So you can use this really in a lot of ways. You could make it a full width button to break up some of these different sections of your site. But you see, it's a nice feature. This is a button. You click it, and it'll take us again to furniture.com. So that's really the quick rundown of how to use WordPress in the Divi theme. Divi gives you this great flexibility with the page builder. Other WordPress sites probably don't, so they can get a little bit more complex. But for the most part, that's what you need to know. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, chris@cmcreativedesign.com, or if you're a client of mine, give me a call. Let me know what's going on. Thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful, and yeah, check out some of the other resources that I've got going.